Hey, g'day guys, Sam here from TradeToProspa, following up a number of charts, and I'm going to continue to post some of those ones that are pretty much people interested in the good performance. So I'm giving my perspective. Here I have Graph, and Graph is doing well because I suppose it's associated with artificial AI, artificial intelligence, but it's not really. It's more to do with indexing, and indexing, which is basically searching all the decentralized apps and the data, and then presenting it in such an order, probably like a Google thing, Google search. This is going to be similar to a search engine for the blockchain. So it has a specific area. I don't know if there's any competitors, but anyway, it could be a niche, and it's one of those light caps that are doing well. Um, Looking at this, you can see how I got this channel it lines up very well. So unless there's more history to it, I don't believe there is. But that's what I have. This channel and this level here, right there, is roughly about you can see it. It's probably 68% or 62% level. If I was to get, I haven't done this yet, so I'm going to just try that. Just popped in my head. I'm going to get this Fibonacci and just chuck it in there. And where are we? There. That's probably the best. Actually, just bring it down a bit. So 68%, give or take. So if I was to move this further down, that would be the 68% level. And yeah, so it did perform there. So we've just hit it's not quite to the Fibonacci that I got. Whoops, let me put that back. And let's just, okay, that's what I got. Excuse me for a sec. Right here, we've got the 618%. And it'd be nice to have a different color. And from this perspective, from there to using this as a reference, I see certain things fit in. And actually, give me a sec. That's better without the log. I got this Fibonacci here, and I aligned it like the other time. So I aligned this area, major resistance levels, support here with this Fibonacci. So I thought it might just go. That was the target from this perspective. So it fell short from this strategy, just using this non-log chart and Fibonacci. So again, I do feel like this is a level that it might try to get to, the one, if I'm doing it right. Now let me just put that there. And now let's go back to the log settings. So, okay, so it's up here. So that's how I get the one. So realistically, I shouldn't have this in a non-log setting. So I just got to take that away and just say non-log, because that's a bit confusing afterwards anyway. So I'll get rid of that. And we have this level, and we use that level, as you can see, as a level one. It does have confluence with many things. So this middle layer, you can see there was a lot of activity, and I usually put those things as a 618 level or 0.5 or 0.382, depending on the scheme of things I'm looking at. So this is a strong resistance level, I feel. And if you look across, let's see how that comes across. Actually, perfect, isn't it? Bummer. So that is what did it, not the Fibonacci. So that was it. Actually, let me just put that back. And that level there, I'm going to have another look. But that's another level that it could probably go to. But when we look from a channel perspective, the center of this channel, let's just make it stand out a bit more. Actually, probably get the lines thicker. There's the center of the channel. So the fact that if you look at on the way down, the center of the channel did play a fair bit of role. And then if you move this up, that was on another level. somewhere there that's acting as another resistance. So again, it points to this area as a major resistance. So from a elite wave perspective, if you look at that, it's going to be a hard one, because that's a strong move to the upside, and it's going to be very difficult to put elite wave to that. So we'll seek assistance with the tool if it's here. All right, let's see how we go. Okay, I overdid it. I don't need that. And unfortunately, we can't use moving averages except for these ones that are shorter time span on the daily, no weekly. The fact that we broke the 200 daily, you can see how it used as support and there was a bit of resistance, but it just kept going and then off it went. So in this bull run, I do see this neckline as a major resistance, right? That looks like a major resistance, and we might go there and then come down, and then we'll look to go up. I feel that's the case. If I think we're going to consolidate here for a while, and either it's going to pull back or it's going to push up. But this is a milestone, and I don't think we can avoid that. So let me just clean this chart up and have a better look. So now we've cleaned it up, and the way I've used this particular point as my, actually from this point here, like I said, I use that point as a reference as 1 from the bottom, and the 1.618 sort of works its way out right to that point there. And so that's, yeah, we've got overperformance, but we are coming back down. So when we look at that, I do see that the 1.414 is responding to be support. I'm going to get rid of this for a sec. And so just horizontally, this makes sense. We'll come in closer, but looking from the tools as well, there isn't bearish divergence on the daily at the moment, obviously with the big strong move. Let's look at the 4 hour. Okay, so with the 4 hour, you can see that we have an elite wave count. It's suggesting that that's a wave 5. It doesn't make sense to me that that's wave 5. I think this is a wave 2 to 3 still going. So let's just get rid of, let's just reverse that actually, see what it says from a different perspective. Okay, so it doesn't have a suggestion. Right, so you can see my 20 moving averages. That this, because this skyrocketed, the only thing that we can really do is use Fibonacci here and see where next level of support and entry. So that's a good area. So this is what happens is it tends to try to go back up again. Going on a smaller time frame, actually let me look on the 4 hour. So we can see how on the 4 hour, once we broke that trend line, we actually dropped a bit. So 3 candles in a row. This might have more downward pressure, but I still see it as an uptrend. Big move. It's just not going to just take off more. It made a big move as it is, and that move was, what is it? 170%. It's unlikely to just rocket away. It'll probably do a consolidation in a range. And let me look on the 1 hour. Okay. So that looks like a good support level. We'll probably get a little bounce. Using Wyckoff's structure, that is, you might find support there or that fib level. And I do believe that we're going to likely get a cup shape and then just try and make another. So this is buying climax. We should be able to match that or go further up and then come back down. And I'll see that we're going to range here. That's going to be an established range. That is definitely our resistance, as I said. So we might just point up a bit more. This is going to be range, and then it will decide if it's going to continue up or come down. You can look at Aptos in a much same way. Let me just bring that out. I'll split this up for a sec. I'll use Aptos as an example because that performed very well, as you know. If you look at Aptos, see how that just so that has a similar pattern. This one's so the 20 moving average caught up, and now it's finding support on Aptos. And Aptos did come back down, so it might come back down to scoop that area as well. Like I said, this one didn't drop as hard as this did. This is because this is much more of a spike, I suppose. They're very different, aren't they? So Aptos refuses to go down, finding support on 20. It might come down a bit more, and then it'll do the same thing of a Wyckoff structure of some sort. We can do similar approach. So it's dropped to 618. That was a shorting position. It's likely to be a shorting position to come down. And this one, I do feel like it'll bounce. And if we put our Fibonacci there, 618 is likely to get the resistance. So we might get a resistance there. We might just get a bounce, get a resistance, maybe continue up or come back down for a double. But we're going to see some formation take place, whatever the case may be. Here we have, actually we do have a nice formation here too, don't we? Okay, that was our bounce. And I was talking to the guys about this being potentially that. But it looks like a bit of a fake out. Anyway, we'll see how that goes. And that's what I see. I see this going nowhere for some time. And that usually 20% or more pullback is a good indication that it's going to be a reversal. So how much did we drop? 21%. So that's right at the rule where this is saying this is likely to be a topping structure with the 20%. Topping structure, when I say topping, it's more to do with this run. So I would say that this run is wave 3. This could be wave 3. We might get a wave 4 here, and then wave 5 hitting the top of the channel, guys. So it does fit the model, hitting the top of the channel and then coming back down for a correction and then up again. So there's more to the upside, but we're just going to be here for a while. And Bitcoin is doing something similar. So there's a good potential that this is going to come range a while, maybe return back. It really depends on what Bitcoin does, and if Bitcoin drops a bit hard, this will likely drop a fair bit more, but it will spike very quickly. So if Bitcoin was to drop hard on this one, I'll be looking for this level here on the 1 fib, which pretty much is aligned with this previous support level. So this might just be support if it was to drop down. That's all I got. Long term wise, God, if things do turn out well, we can do this, guys. Just apply Fibonacci, put that as a 618 level, and then we can start looking at the likes of these numbers here, get a big pullback, and if the bull market still continues, depending what stage it is, then So that's one perspective, and let me see the other one. So if that's our one, if it gets to that level, see you can have some stuff. It's going to be difficult to know which one overlays. So let's see this. Yep, that also fits into the macro picture. So I've got 2 Fibonacci's that I'll be using to find a level. So the 618 there is close to the 1.414. That's assuming that we hit our mark, we come back down, and if you look at this chart, and if this continues, we probably get something like that, and then up. And then we could even do a measured move from that. So there's a whole bunch of things that we need to wait for. to start planning out. But at the moment, it's early days. And then the more we get in terms of this run, then we can start forecasting more of a balanced way on what the target is. That's all I got. Hopefully that gives you some ideas on how to look at this chart, where to take profit. If you bought the bottom, don't sell, is my thoughts. Just need to know when to take profit. I think the 20% pullback would have been, that top would have been a good spot to buy, take profit. 20% would have been, if you took some 20% or 30% of your portfolio, you can buy it cheaper and then continue on. So it's about accumulation now. Just trading these numbers, accumulation, and then just stick to your idea. Yep, stick to your plan on this going for the macro. And by the end of this next stage of the bull run, which could go for a long time, or you could retire. Anyway, I'm going to leave it at that. I'm just blabbing on. Please give me a like and share, and talk to you soon.